What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in the Khaliis Take. You know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in. Here's why I think the Lakers definitely need to hire Mark Jackson as a coach. You know, Mark Jackson is not only a good analyst, he was a good coach for the Warriors, and a lot of the reason why the Warriors' success, even up to this point, that they've had is due to Mark Jackson because of the recruiting, getting Klay Thompson on the team, Draymond Green, while having Stephen Curry on that team as well, and building them into the team they are and building the culture that they still actually live by, even though they're coached by a different coach in Steve Kerr, who took over the rights of the team in regards to being a head coach several years back. But in the Lakers situation, you know, here lately on TMZ, I was looking at, Magic Johnson speak on the team. And of course, they asked him, would he be a coach or would he consider? And Magic Johnson basically, shot it down, pretty much as always. I think he was asked that question several years ago as well. And he pretty much had the same answer every time. He seems consistent with it. But at the same time, with Mike Brown being the Sacramento Kings head coach, that was actually one of the candidates on the low that the Lakers were actually looking into, like being a coach, for as well. And, of course, LeBron and Mike Brown has history with the Cleveland Cavaliers. He definitely, trusts his instincts in regards to how he coaches and everything like that. I don't believe he didn't win a championship with Mike Brown as far as the coach on Cleveland, but Mike Brown is a really good coach, and I think he's a very underrated coach. And honestly, he was one of the head coaching names out there in the last few weeks that was feasible for the Lakers to acquire. So, I mean, with him being one of those names out there and one of those type coaches that has a voice in the locker room and gets respect from his players the way he's always has, that's the type of coach I think the Lakers need. And he's one of those type voices that they would need in the locker room that could have actually helped them play better. As I said before, I don't really think Phil Jackson or anybody like that should be, coaching the Lakers, because I feel like his gameplay, his style of play, his style of coaching, or whatever you want to call it, is just so outdated now. I don't think it really can help, the Lakers in the predicament and the situation that they're in now, which is being a very, very, underachieving team who can't really figure out their way or get out their own way. And as I said before, defense is their biggest issue. But at the same time, on the floor, defense is their biggest issue right now. Their biggest issue is a head coach. But on the floor, one of their issues is defense. So you can preach it all you want, because Frank Vogel was a defensive-minded coach. But at the same time, like I said, it really didn't matter because he just didn't have a voice to get to the players, and the players didn't have that respect for him after a while. They just started, brushing him off, basically. So the reason why I say they should go after Mark Jackson is because he's one of those leader-type coaches where he has a voice and people will listen when he speaks. And when that happens, a lot of good things can transpire from that. Just as Magic, any other person that has a voice like that. When certain guys, certain people speak, others listen. That's just the way it is. And Mark Jackson has that type of effect. So I feel like, the Lakers should definitely, look at him as the forefront of their pick, because really with Mike Brown, going to the Sacramento Kings, and Nick Nurse definitely not being an option from what I see. And they don't even need to really look Phil Jackson's way, honestly. I mean, that would just be like a office type move because he's done so much for the organization in regards to winning in the past. They would just be bringing him on just to see if he can actually initiate some of his greatness upon this new team and new era of basketball, which is not going to work because he's still thinking triangle offense and all the things he used to do, which just isn't going to work. So, I mean, I don't think they need to look his direction. They need to give Mark Jackson that job. They need to give him the position, because Honestly, not only that, that would be somebody that LeBron James would approve of. And this is who your superstar is. Your superstar is LeBron James. He's the best player on the team. And you might as well say he worked for the front office of the Lakers as well. So if LeBron James approves of him, then you got to definitely think about putting him in. You got to definitely think about, ingratiating him with this team. Because I will say, if Mark Jackson is a part of this team going into next season, I do believe that the Lakers will be better. I do believe they will, bare minimum, make the play-in tournament, if anything, because Mark Jackson can, like I said, some coaches can pull things out of you that you don't even think that you have. I mean, look what Ty Lue did with the Clippers. I mean, Amir Coffey, some of those players that they have on the Clippers, they're afterthoughts, or not even thoughts for most people, because most people don't even know who they are. But Ty Lue got the best out of those type players, all of those type role players, and nobody knew who they were, and they contributed at a very high level when their back was against the wall. That actually kept them afloat, where they almost made the playoffs and end up making the play-in tournament and secured a spot in the play-in tournament. And this is what I'm talking about with all the talent on the Lakers. Even though they're a bunch of older men, even still, they still have enough talent on that team to make a play-in tournament, bare minimum. And I know Mark Jackson will be able to get that out of them, maybe even more. So I think the Lakers should definitely look towards this pick here and get Mark Jackson, because they don't really have any other option to me, now unless they get somebody who doesn't have, maybe quite his credentials, but at the same time, he is one of those type coaches that can help a team win a championship just because of his aura, the way he thinks. And we all know the way he recruits as well, because like I said, I mean, what he did with the Warriors, they turned into a dynasty over time, and he was a big part of the reason why. And I think his wisdom and his knowledge of the game can definitely, implement in the Lakers' favor as well. Now, I'm not going to say the Lakers are going to win a championship or anything like that, but I mean, they definitely can be a lot better of a team than what they were this year. I mean, they can't be any worse, especially with a coach who can get to the players and, make everybody understand, his process and how he goes about coaching and getting the best out of every player that's on the floor. So, I mean, I understand, there's a lot going on with the Lakers, a lot of drama and things like that. But Mark Jackson can be the type of guy that can come in there and calm a lot of that down as well. And see, that's what you want. You want that type of guy that can come in there and calm the drama down, keep everything afloat as much as possible, understand what he needs to do when he comes in, and which is, get the best out of the players he has. And I think Mark Jackson will do that. And the Lakers would be dumb if they don't get him, because there's really nobody else out there. There's nobody else out there worthy of coaching this team, really, because this team needs that type of voice, but they also need somebody who can, develop those young players they got on the Lakers as well, and the Austin Reeves and those players like that, and Malik Monk, and get the best out of them. So, I mean, honestly, the Lakers really don't have too many other options. I don't think they do, because not many other people want to take this job just because what comes with it. So the fact that Mark Jackson's even interviewing for it, even willing to take on the risk of going with this team, because it comes with so much drama and kickback. If the operation doesn't go well, he'll be blamed for everything. The fact that he's even looking into it or anything like that, they definitely need to try to go with him and don't even really look elsewhere, and then start their off season by acquiring Mark Jackson, and then start their off season by maybe adding some pieces here and there to see if they can make their team a little bit better going into next season. But hey, that's my take on everything. You leave any comments in the comment section. Make sure to check out my other videos and let me know if you like those. Leave any comments on those as well. And hey, Khaliis out.